Monte and the Pharaoh. Duh.
I'm having one fun with Monte the Pharaoh, and I'm going to put him in a crossface again, and he's going to go down right now. Yeah.
You promised that you would do it. Do it.
Bartman.
That was absolutely putrid. That was, yeah, thank you.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. Ric Flair announced a split from his fifth wife, Wendy Barlow. Ric Flair announced that he and his wife, Wendy Barlow, are ending their marriage.
Fifth wife.
The pair met in 1990s while both were in WCW. Barlow was his valet, Fifi the maid. They started dating after Flair's fourth marriage ended, got engaged in 2016, and married 2 years later. Barlow was by the two-time WWE Hall of Famer's side through his medical issues. Ric Flair credited his 61-year-old partner for his return to health. He has, and she's been through everything with him, with the Becky Lynch thing and the dark side of the ring. Yeah. And he tweeted, after taking some part apart, Wendy and I have decided to go our separate ways. Please respect our privacy and our families during this time. Thoughts on Ric Flair?
Can I ask you something strange?
Go.
Why would you get married?
Matthew Holland says Ric Flair is old.
Oh, he's not lying. By numerically, he's correct.
Okay.
Why would you do this 5 times? Get married 5 times? Well, what is there something wrong with me? I think that's insane. Isn't the definition of insanity repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result?
Can't disagree.
Why would you do this 5 times? And I think that's hilarious. I mean,
and from what I understand,
you said he's been through everything, right? She's been through everything with him.
Right.
Let me really spell this out for you. No, she's been with him through everything after the 4th marriage ended in divorce in 2016, which was about 3 shovels ago with the snow.
Right.
What are you talking about? He's been with this 5th experiment for basically a wink. And I batlash. What are you talking? This is insane. He's insane.
Mr. X says they started dating after Flair's 4th divorce. Come on. He was banging her when they were married, when he was married to his 3rd wife.
Yeah, in the 90s. You met her in the 90s, and that's where it all started.
Not a great father.
Oh, good God. And really lousy to our good friend Shane Douglas. I watched the video earlier. He was trashing our buddy. Screw you, Ric Flair.
Wait, you watch?
That got me mad. I got to be honest. I don't know who.
You watch Woo Nation.
I don't know who the damn channel was, and I don't pay attention.
You're a liar.
Who's a Who Nation anyway? I don't even know who you're mentioning.
You watch all these shows.
Yeah. You're watching the guy who lives 3 blocks from us. Did you see what he did? No, you did. How do you know? There was only one live eye. It was you.
You know what the problem is? I got to be honest with you.
Nailed.
I think about Flair.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think about that 30 for 30, and I think about his son Reed, who unfortunately passed away of a drug overdose.
Yes, yeah.
And knowing that, look, obviously it's his child, and you don't want to admit that they have problems and things like that. But this guy don't do anything right, dude. He doesn't do except be a wrestler.
Look,
he was a great wrestler.
Oh yeah.
And as a human being, between
Yeah.
twirling his penis and pushing and taking advantage of women.
Helicopter
being
Harry.
divorced a million times, never being home for children.
Right.
Like, why have children if you're not going to... Look, it's okay to be married to your career. There's nothing wrong with it. We've discussed this before.
What got me angry about the Shane Douglas thing that I watched earlier where Flair was trashing him is that, what is it? He's got a regular job now. What is he, a Walmart clerk? He starts making fun. Look, all that means is that Shane Douglas has become a regular person.
Was that what he was doing? He was busting on Shane Douglas for having a regular job?
Ripping on him for having a regular job. And
what, instead you should, owe the IRS a $1 billion and then go to Vince McMahon and turn around and say, help me, and Vince helps him and does whatever he does.
Right, we've both met Shane Douglas. We know how intelligent of a man he is. It's like, don't lay off the guy. I mean, and you're right. Ric Flair's a spoiled, pampered rock star. And I guess he deserves it because, he's the Led Zeppelin of what he did. So I guess everything's okay. okay. You know, I really don't give a either way about what Ric Flair does in his personal life, you know, but I hate when he talks about guys like Shane Douglas. I'm like, stop it. You know, remember where you came from. You weren't always Ric Flair. You weren't Ric Flair in high school. Shut the up and remember where you came from.
Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Ric Flair. I think as a human being, he's probably not one of the greatest people in the world.
Right. Who cares?
Right? He's a drunk.
Not thrilled, but who cares?
He's a carouser.
Right.
He wasn't a good father.
Right.
He's not a good husband.
Right.
Right?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Ric Flair or Gene Simmons?
Well, you could put
You
both
see
in
where
the
I'm
same.
going with this?
I
right?
understand.
And I love Gene Simmons. I'm sorry.
Mr. X wants to know, are those Lucky Stripes non-filter?
Oh, here we go.
I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for the Monte The Pharaoh. Our own Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall.
Wait a minute. You promised that you would do it. Do it.
Bartman.
That was absolutely putrid. That was yeah. Thank you.
Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall.
Bartman.
There you go.
That's it.
We want an apology from the fans out there. There were a few people out there that told us that we were wrong about Blaze dumping Hannibal,
And we were being
and
mean.
it seemed and it seemed after the pressure that we applied, Hannibal found out that he probably had to go on video and publicly announce that he broke up with Blaze. Don't ask me why you would do that, but he did.
Somebody crumbled like a cornflake.
Like a cornflake.
Yeah, he did.
So guys, I got to
rough.
tell you, we listen. I'm not trying to say that we're experts in
No,
any matter.
cut that out.
We're fans,
Yeah, cut
but
that
we do know a lot of
Wrestling folk?
a lot of wrestling folk.
Wrestling folk.
And we do have a lot of inside information.
we're okay.
And you know, not that Hannibal was
not
any
Meltzer,
kind of
but, you know.
like wrestling information, but we know
Right.
know some stuff.
That's true.
Right? So
Well,
Davio
we got a
says,
scoop on Hannibal. We
all right, cancel culture.
Great.
Brian Kendrick.
I was happy.
Brian
Now what?
Kendrick gets released from the WWE and instantly is announced to wrestle John Moxley.
Right.
Last night
Right,
on
Right. What is
whatever that
this?
show is, Dynamite.
What is this?
He gets dropped out because of some of the things that he has said. So I thought I would read from his interview some of the things he said. I'd like you to give me some feedback on the Illuminati.
Yeah, go ahead.
For something to exist, something must exist for it to exist in. These are the people who secretly control the world and keep us in line by distracting us with new video games, insane shows, and so on.
Okay.
13 families keep inbreeding, and they are the ones in charge. The original goal was for the people to be enslaved, but now there are so many are in this world that the plan has changed to mass depopulation through vaccines and such.
Oh, of course.
Thoughts?
Of course. Where can I purchase this fictionalized work of art? Is this something that's...
But is this
correct?
something to stop the guy from wrestling? Is this...
Absolutely not. Go on. So far,
Is
no.
it- and is
it
this-
just
wait a
means... Wait! It just means and win.
Wait a minute.
Next.
Is this so out of the realm that
No. It's okay to have this kind of theory.
it's not
all
that
right.
crazy?
I still think that it's an art of fiction, and I'd like to read about it. Like
Understood.
Like 1984 from George Orwell.
I
you know?
get you,
Yeah.
but it's not so out of control.
No, it's not to be. I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle with you. No, not yet. What else?
The space radiation is too great for humans to survive a trip to space. This is a disinformation to win the space race against Russia.
So the Russians
And this was
also
filmed in the back with
the
Stanley
Russians also
Kubrick.
fake filmed the Sputnik and all whatever else the other things they were doing.
So you don't
It's
think
all
there's a
television
possibility
programs.
that
Sure, could be a possibility.
the moon was going to the moon was fake?
Yeah, it could be.
And
a
it was in a
possibility.
movie
Now
theater.
ask me if, in my heart of hearts, if I think that really didn't happen. Because I think it
Did it happen or didn't
Yeah,
happen?
I think Armstrong and the boys got up there. Yeah, I do. Why wouldn't I? You know, there's some things we have kind of pulled off.
Why is Brian Kendrick now, and Matt, if you could put that up, apologizing?
Brian Kendrick himself, the man.
Apologizing
All right.
for these comments. He put on Twitter, I spread the most vile comics without thinking of the damage that it would cause.
Right.
I will live with regret for the rest of my life.
Oh, it's
I'm
just
truly sorry for the pain I
Oh,
caused.
stop it. It's just a statement. Who the hell's buying that anyway? He's just going through the motions to get people to simmer down. And the things that he said, you know what? Some of them are just ridiculous and to laugh off, and some of them are not. Some of them, to me, are like, you know? But at the same time, though, why is he saying this stuff publicly anyway? I don't understand a person's need to show a side of themselves. What is wrong with you? Why did he have to say these things publicly at all?
It was a shoot interview.
Can't you just shut the F up and know the difference when not to talk about like that? You know? And by the way, I don't ever question a genocide from anybody's background.
Why? Billy Jack Haynes was in our studio, and he said
Billy
that
Jack Haynes?
Billy Jack Haynes. Remember when he was in our studio? He said
Yeah.
that Vince McMahon.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
quoting Billy Jack.
Yeah.
That Vince McMahon impregnated Nancy Benoit,
thinks
and
he's-
that's why Benoit killed Nancy.
Yeah. Well, Billy Jack's a little cuckoo sometimes. And he brought me a nice orange juice the last time.
So he's good.
So, yeah, he's just Billy Jack. I mean, what am I going to do? Judge him? Just keep it to yourself if you got something insane to say.
Some knucklehead goes out there and talks
Which
about the
knucklehead?
moon. Kendrick.
Kendrick.
And by the way,
okay.
does it really matter if Kendrick wrestles or not? I could care less.
Does it
anyway.
really matter what Kendrick says?
No. But my
He's
point
Brian
is,
Kendrick.
John Moxley,
Who cares?
who clearly is a drunk,
Yes.
a recovering drunk.
He's recovering. Leave
Okay,
him alone.
he's a recovering
What?
drunk.
So he's trying.
But he's not canceled out by people.
No, because he didn't say that the Holocaust never happened.
He just drove drunk, and
Did he kill?
whatever.
Did he?
No, he got lucky. He didn't kill anybody.
Okay. Well, shoot for that.
But he wrote a book.
Did he write a book? Did he write it drunk?
So
Certain
Paige
pub.
Von Hess Sutherland.
Paige?
You remember Kurt Von Hess, older wrestler?
Yeah,
Vaguely, right?
Vaguely.
But his gimmick was a German, right?
Yeah.
He didn't wear a swastika or anything like that.
Okay.
But this is the 70s.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And he's the German, right? Just like Fritz von Erich and whatever else you want to do.
Okay.
She says, this is the daughter, when asked about Gunther in this podcast,
Yeah.
she thinks it's a disgrace
Yeah.
and immoral
Yeah.
to even have that kind of character in today's day and time.
Gunther's original character, Walter, when they wanted to change Walter, was Gunther. I can't remember the last name right now, but there was a last name.
Gotcha.
It turns out that Gunther, with the last name they intended to use, was a Nazi commander. Bad idea. Who the hell came up with this? And I got to be honest, I don't even know if they really knew that this was the deal, that this name that they had come up with was
Fine,
the exact.
but they didn't give him the
you know?
name.
Right.
All right?
Right, and they switched it to Gunther.
Okay.
Now, to me, it's no longer offensive. It's just stupid. Because Walter worked for him, and we've been through this before. So as far as that goes, you know, why if she's offended by the
Lou
original...
says Dean Moxley is overrated, drunk or not.
Interesting. Yeah, you know, he's
agree.
he's no tactician.
My point is,
You know?
just because that's your daddy, which, by the way, in the 70s, I don't even know if kids nowadays even know what Nazis are. I got to be honest with you.
I can't say.
I
I'm sure
don't
that
know.
some do.
Of course.
I'm sure some do.
Some know who Leonard Skinner is, too.
That's
But
true,
Some
too.
don't, right?
Good old country boys.
So my point is, because that's your daddy, and I think in the 70s, being a practicing Jew or anybody that was closer to that time where that horrible went on,
Understood. Okay,
Right?
I gotcha.
it was okay for daddy to portray a German, not quite a Nazi German, but now it's not okay?
Right.
I would think back then
Right.
it was probably worse.
And you know why people bitched less?
But she's got pictures of her daddy all over the place, right?
People bitched less back then because they were put through more.
Seriously.
Today they're having a meltdown when past generations who actually
Paige
directly
Von
experienced
Hess-
these things.
Paige Von
Right.
Hess Sutherland. Mm-hmm. How dare you say that you're offended now, but
Right.
you're not offended every time you get out of bed and you
Right.
see a picture of your daddy
Who was
in
doing
his
this.
wrestling gimmick.
Who was doing
You're
this.
not offended
Right.
by that.
Right. There were people who had actually survived those concentration camps, came to America.
Thank you.
Was watching their television in 1974 and saw your freaking pop.
And got
You know?
angry.
Yeah, and I bet you're
And
not.
went to the
I bet
wrestling
you're not
matches.
crying a river for them, are you?
No.
So you're right. Yeah, hypocrite. Good job there, Mike.
bad.
That's excellent. Yeah.
bad.
Well, it's the truth.
So we found out now
and it's
that
pretty deep, and I hope everybody caught it because it's the
it
truth.
is deep.
I think that's fantastic.
And
Like,
again-
it's so outrageous to believe that there's a hateful faction over in the Middle East that wants certain people dead and have wanted them dead. It's documented for thousands of years. It's so outlandish to think that they got together and found a way to attack the country that always supports the country.
But
that's been-
you know what's
I mean,
funny about
oh,
all
that's
this?
just impossible to believe.
But you know what-
like hate's never existed.
But you know what really
Forever.
pisses me off, dude?
It's so
Is this.
predictable. Ugh.
All this crap
Go
can
on.
go on and people get canceled, but Bill Maher can talk about
Right,
Jesus Christ
Right.
as a comic
Right.
book,
right,
right?
right.
But
What
that's
about-
okay.
What about Whoopi Goldberg? At least she got her comeuppance this week.
What happened with that? I
She
didn't
was
even catch
talking. She was talking about the Holocaust was just white people killing white people. You know what?
that. She said that?
Yeah, she said that.
Wow.
You know what? Suck it. Can I use the wrestling? We'll stick to wrestling.
Wow.
2 words for you.
Didn't
Suck
know
it.
that.
You
With
know?
that, though, we'll take a quick commercial break.
Suspended for 2 weeks, by the way.
We'll take 2 weeks only.
Only 2 weeks.
That's Brian Kendrick. can't
White
make-
people killing white people is her description of the Holocaust, and she only goes away for 2 weeks. Brian Kendrick's not allowed to wrestle ever again.
There you go.
What the?
All right, backstage talk on why Vince McMahon was upset with Shane McMahon. New details are being revealed that Shane McMahon's behavior on the day of the Royal Rumble this past Saturday. It was reported earlier this week that McMahon was quietly let go from the WWE due to a significant heat he received from his role as producer and writer of the Men's Royal Rumble this past Saturday. Shane competed in the match. He was reportedly heavily criticized on how he took charge of the booking and tried to make the match about himself. Initial reports show that Shane's heat from the Rumble debacle, chairman and CEO Vince McMahon Sr. making the decision to let his son go.
Wow.
Allegedly, Shane pulled the Vince McMahon card and took over the show. And what else happened?
He's out of control.
He was scheduled to be in the Elimination Chamber,
Oh, my
but he had an
God.
argument with Vince about it because he wanted to do something else. Thoughts on that whole thing, brother?
Man, you know, it's really insane. Like, you know, we always talk about the writers, this, that. I didn't realize Shane at any time could just grab the pen. All right, I'm doing this. I'm like, what do you mean Shane wrote the Royal Rumble script? I'm shocked at that. No one
Why?
else is surprised to hear this.
Shane
Because you
O'Mac.
always hear about the writers. They hired this guy. They got this writer. They got Dewey. They got all these writers.
How does Dewey
And
survive
Shane-
all this, by the way?
Because he's a Foley. He's baby Foley's lovely grandboy.
Man,
He's
nice.
Just, he's just loved, you know, just like Mick, and that's the Foley way of doing things, loved. But I think this is shocking, the fact that he was able to just go and write himself in. And by the way, it was ridiculous. I could see why all the wrestlers were like, F this guy, this is insane. You have Shane McMahon with his stupid little rabbit punches, and he's beating up Matt Riddle, a trained cage fighter, a trained MMA guy. This was horrible. It was terrible.
Wow.
Shane has got himself canned. Wow, I wonder how that went. Do you think Vince gave him the big hearty, you're fired?
No,
Or
I
did
think the WWE is starting to cave in to their wrestlers a little bit.
Well, they should in this case. Like you said, Shane wrestles once a year to, you know,
It's got to
that's
get his
it.
payday.
Payday.
Really?
Dad, get out of here, Shane. Go home.
Wow.
Dad,
Shane
what do you think, you're
O'Mac,
Chris
man.
Jericho or something? Get out of here. You can't get away with this.
Shane McMahon, Hall of Famer?
Yes, he is. He's the first ballot Hall of Fame. Of course he is. But he's a specialist, let's be fair. And I've seen enough of his special. His special, especially in the last few years, is I'll see you once a year, I'll jump off of something, and I'll smash everything to smithereens and lose.
Wow.
Whether it's to the Kevin Owens or whoever it's to. I don't want to see that once a year anymore. I'd be tired. Bye. And then you take over the Royal
Now,
Rumble.
well, the rumor.
Get out of
The
here.
rumor, I think we discussed.
And he's
was
been wonderful in the past. But
the Shane wanted to wrestle Seth.
yeah, hate it.
Vince wanted it to be the angle to be Shane against Austin Theory.
Love it.
and
love
Shane
it.
didn't want that.
Yeah,
and
the
I heard
jealousy
that was the
because
argument.
Vince has picked Austin Theory and Shane would have an issue with it and stuff. That would have been cool. So Vince, if that was Vince's idea, that was a good idea. The Seth Rollins Shane McMahon thing, see, that's where.
Luce agrees with you. Says
I hate
Shane
it.
O'Mac in the ring is getting a bit much.
Oh, absolutely, dude. He's got nothing left except those stupid rabbit punches anyway and jumping off of something. And I hate the way he throws a punch. I always have. That's terrible. It's not convincing in the least.
What do you think about the rumors that Shane's going to go to AEW?
I think people have really lost their minds.
Well, Brian Kendrick said
Brian Kendrick said it.
Yeah.
I knew it all along. I knew that when he grabbed that pen, he was destined for AEW. Did I ever tell you about the aliens that flew their spaceships into the Verrazano Bridge? I never told you that one? You know, the Verrazano Bridge was built by aliens. You didn't know? This is ridiculous. It really is.
Tavio says, Shane, good luck with your future endeavors. And after the 90 days, see you on Impact.
On Impact. That'd be great. Maybe that's why they let her come out and show the Impact
Dude,
because Shane's going
Do
to
you,
Impact.
come on, do you really think this is such a big deal?
I don't care.
No, but my point is, like, everybody's like,
care?
flipping. Do you think it's really that big of a deal?
In the wrestling world, this is a dream. Vince McMahon has fired his son. This is for a guy who loves a juicy story, you sit there.
It's like stupid.
Anybody really think this
First
is
of all,
a
okay,
big deal?
Shane really wanted
This is
nothing.
a
He wanted
huge
nothing to
deal.
do with the wrestling business
kill
for
me.
so long.
Right. And now he's like, I'm winning everything. Shane, you
That
didn't-
in itself is
Shane, you
great.
didn't give a for like 10 years. I don't care. Tonight, I win everything. What about WrestleMania? I'm going straight to it. He starts pointing at the sign. Everybody's like looking at him like, Dad, Vince, get your kid out of here. He's gone nuts. Maybe he was tripping. Maybe somebody like laced his and he went in there and grabbed the pen. That's not how this is going to go. Give me that.
What do you think
I don't know. I try
Tony
not to
Khan
think.
would pay
Hearts-
to have Shane McMahon show up at
would
AEW?
give him. I'll give you my house. You can have the football team. They suck.
He'd be. What if Shane said, "I'll come only if you make me AEW champion"?
Oh, it'll be like David Arquette all over again. You're a new champion, Shane McMahon.
Do you think there's a possibility this does happen and Shane's gonna, like you said, eat him up from the inside?
Would you? I'm gonna kill that creation. I'm gonna kill it, and he's gonna do it with a lethal injection of poison.
Oh my God!
Remember that speech that Vince gave when he was bringing the NWO in to kill his own creation?
Oh, Marty Greenfield's here. He's saying Shane versus Matt Cardona in a GCW death match.
Somebody kill me,
Dude.
That better be pay-per-view. You give me $49.95 to watch it.
You know, speaking of Cardona's made a pretty
You gotta
good
stop,
living
though.
for himself.
Yeah, he's
though,
doing
dude.
fine. That's great and all, but I've never seen some people. He's Zack Ryder. I'm sorry.
That's
He's
what I'm
always
saying,
gonna
like-
be. I can't get past it. I can't, and he's doing great. Don't get me wrong, but it just makes me laugh when I see like this, you know. But good for him.
Maria Davis says Disney will be the bank for Vince.
Disney. I hope not, man. Imagine if pro wrestling is no longer.
Dude, I don't even know if Triple H is still alive, dude.
That's
like, no
true.
one's heard a word from this guy.
He's hanging out with the leader of Korea. Dude, they disappeared.
I'm serious. Like, you don't like
Yeah, I
this
don't know.
guy. This guy had to probably take a really bad heart attack.
You know, it's funny, too. So I saw a sub-comment after Shane was let go, you're next, Triple H. it could be true. Triple H could be fired in a few weeks. I don't know what is happening here. It's getting so strange.
But first of all, Shane wasn't fired, okay?
Yeah, he was. He was fired.
That's according
they
to
released
Meltzer.
him. Yeah, and you know what's funny? Vince is at the dinner table.
Wait a minute. How do
He's
you
giving
release
him the money
someone?
under the table?
How do you
like,
release
physically.
someone who wasn't even like just showed up 10 years? How do you?
know.
Come on, man.
Like there's really a contract, son. Sign this contract. You know there probably is.
Wait, let me ask you this.
That's so weird.
What are the two possibilities?
Wow, what a weird
here?
family.
Shane
It's gotta be
came back
rough.
just for the Royal Rumble and he's done, or he was fired. Which one are you going with?
I think that he was. I think he just went home, and they were like, "Let's get some juice out of this."
Yeah.
So we'll make a story.
I was here. I left.
Can you see Vince calling him over? I got a great one. What do you think about it that I fired you? You're like, wow, that's brilliant, Dad.
Here's a telling thing about
So
Vince
when he
McMahon.
comes back unannounced, everybody will be like, hold.
To this. The one thing I remember that Vince said, which I thought was really telling. Remember the documentaries on A&E?
Yeah.
You know, they had the Ultimate Warrior one.
Yeah. Okay.
So on the Ultimate Warrior one, they talked about how Warrior, Hellwig, looked up to Vince as his father. Vince, quote, says, I only have one son.
Yeah.
But, like, that was a
wait,
very
wait.
telling statement.
Stephanie?
No. James Earl says Triple H is AEW bound.
Never. None of them are going to wind up in AEW. Wouldn't that be
Why
great,
would
though?
you leave
They would not do that. It's just not
millions
happening.
and
But
millions
if it did,
and millions of dollars
but
to go
if
to
it
AEW?
did,
Yeah.
like if Shane and Triple H show up over there, we're talking Game of Thrones, man.
Why, CM Punk
This is,
he'll quit.
I'm going to Vince. Hello, Vince. I can't anymore with these people. That's it. I'm quitting. I'm going to the other side.
I can't get over the fact that
can't.
AEW cancels Brian Kendrick because
Right.
he said
Right.
the moonwalk was fake.
I don't want to talk to you. What do you mean? That's it. I'm
And
done
how
with
does a
you.
guy apologize? Like, what are you
I know, I
apologizing
love
for?
that.
You're an idiot.
You know what, though? I mean,
I think someone said it here that he was high as during that
He
interview.
probably,
okay.
he probably was.
Oh, well.
And honestly, of all these crazy things he was saying, the only one that's really, really pushing the envelope is when you start questioning.
There was other shit.
side.
There was some other shit.
No, that was just stupid, though. But ignorance is another story.
Said Michael Jackson
You know what? It's probably
faked his death.
Michael Jackson. That's true. I told you. I saw him at the pool hall with Elvis and Jim Morrison. It was insane. You know what was weird though? Elvis was winning. He was winning the pool match. I figured that it would be.
Dude, Elvis would be like 85 years old right now.
Yeah, but those guys don't age. They're aliens.
Oh,
You
so
didn't
they
know that?
oh, that's right.
John Lennon is an alien. He didn't die.
Is that
whole
something
thing
that
was
goes
fake.
on here?
That whole thing was fake. Brian Kendrick told me so.
This is going off the rails. All right, well,
Are you wrestling Hook this week, Mike?
I'm not wrestling Hook.
Why not?
That's about it, man. I got nothing
What
else.
about what CM Punk said about the chance of having to wrestle Hook?
Is that what he
Did
said?
Did you hear what he said?
No.
You don't know. Oh, you're
no
gonna love
interest.
this one. They asked him what he thought about possibly wrestling Hook, and his quote was, "Isn't he like a teenager? I could get arrested for that."
Is that what he said?
That was his answer. I was like, wow, look at him.
I heard he had a good match with MJF last night.
Yeah, isn't that amazing though? MJF gets put over. I thought that was a very smart booking decision.
Ooh, Davio says Vince is clearing all family from WWE because he knows Disney will destroy them.
Interesting. Yeah, so he's getting them out the door before he sells.
Now here's something really
Boy, this
offensive.
is
And
rough.
Universe Talent Booking, you're now going to be suspended because this is unacceptable.
Suspended?
Yeah.
For what?
He said Hulk Hogan is a lesbian.
I never want to hear from him again.